Procrastination on your writing is really based on inertia. What isn't moving isn't going to start moving on its own, right? And what is already moving and rolling is going to continue doing so forever. That's a pretty simple truth that, applies to your writing, but also to other aspects of your life where you might find yourself that you are procrastinating and not doing what you should be doing. And maybe you're finding different excuses why you're currently not writing and your papers aren't moving forward. Maybe you're teaching too much. Maybe you have too many students to supervise. Maybe there are too many courses that you need to take. You're too busy at the lab. There's just not enough hours during the day. Too many meetings, too many emails, just too much of stuff, right? But really, if we look at procrastination objectively, the things that I've mentioned are typically just excuses. I've found with my own research work and my business and my personal life that really, I don't do things and I procrastinate because I'm in a state of inertia. And there are basically two specific barriers that are stopping you from moving forward, that are keeping you inert. And we're gonna look at those right now so that you can start moving forward with your writing and start writing daily so that you can finish your PhD, publish more papers in Q1 journals, get tenure, get a better job, whatever it is that you're after. And not just in the academia. Once you apply this to other areas of your life, whatever your goals are, you'll be able to stop procrastinating and finally do stuff. Now, if you're new here, my name is Marek Kiczkowiak and I'm the founder of Academic English Now, where we help PhD students and researchers write and publish papers in Q1 Scopus-Indexed journals. So one really important thing that I've learned this year, and I learned it from a great book, The Diary of a CEO, and they've got a fantastic podcast as well that I'd really recommend to you. It's not just about business, it's really about life and other stuff. Is that, procrastination is based on inertia, right? What doesn't move will continue in the state of inertia. What doesn't move is not going to start moving on its own, right? You will have to apply force to it, right? And what is already moving is going to likely continue moving. And if you apply just a little bit of force, it's going to continue moving faster and faster and faster, right? So if we apply this concept to your scientific writing, your writing currently is in the state of inertia. You're procrastinating on it. And there are two main sort of barriers that are keeping you from breaking out of that inertia and starting to apply force and take action to write papers. And these two barriers are internal and external, okay? So tackling procrastination requires tackling both internal and external barriers to making progress, okay? What do I mean with internal barriers? They typically have to do with what's here, what's in your head. As human beings, we go through life making up stories about who we are, about our identity, about what we like, what we dislike. And the more stories we make up, these stories influence our identity and they influence the types of actions that we take. And by extension, the results that we get and the feedback that we get, which further influences our beliefs. And that's, it just creates a circle. So you've got beliefs, actions, results, feedback, more beliefs, right? So these beliefs create an internal barrier that stop you from moving forward. More specifically, you might have been telling yourself that you're a bad writer. I can't tell you how many times I've heard it from our prospects or our clients that, look, Marek, I'm just a bad writer. Or I'm a non-native speaker. English isn't my first language. That's why I can't write scientific papers. Maybe that applies to you as well, that you've been thinking all these negative thoughts in your head about your writing. Maybe you've received negative feedback from the reviewers, from your supervisors, which really just completely knocked down your confidence. And as a result, you just don't believe that you can be a writer. You don't believe that you can write papers for top journals. So the first thing that I think we need to do in order to tackle procrastination with your scientific writing, but also in other areas of your life, is to tackle that internal barrier to writing in this specific case. And one of the best ways to do it, to kind of realign your beliefs or reframe your beliefs, is through affirmations, right? And you can, I've got an affirmation card here, but you can just make them yourself. You can write them down, put them on your wall, and you want to be repeating them to yourself, right? And reading them, looking at them every single day. So I've got one for myself here, which is very relevant to me, and it's I choose to be patient and trust the process, because I'm a very impatient person. I want the results yesterday, right? And when they take more than that, I usually grow impatient. So it's an affirmation for me. But if one of your limiting internal barriers is that you feel you're a bad writer, or that your English is bad, or that you're a non-native speaker, whatever that is, that those beliefs and feelings that you have about writing scientific papers, write that down and write an affirmation for yourself that you're going to be repeating day in and day out, looking at it as well when you're starting to write. Put it on your computer, and when you open your computer, you see it immediately. Okay, so that's the first thing. But then the second thing as well to tackle our limiting beliefs and to start moving forward and avoid procrastination is to start getting results and celebrate those results. Okay, so confidence really comes from the results that you get. The more results that you get, the better you become, the more confidence you have, because you have all the proof that your mind can use to tell you that you're amazing, you're successful, you're a published writer. Okay, so first, of course, you need to realign your beliefs to get started. You need to make the first step, right? Once you've realigned your beliefs and you've made the first step, you need to celebrate it. And at the beginning, you're not going to have big causes for celebration. You won't have written a paper in a week. You won't have published in Nature. But any small achievement that you make, you want to write it down and you want to celebrate it. You want to tell other people about it, that you've done it and that you're very proud of yourself. I'm serious, especially if you've been procrastinating and you're writing for a very long time. So to give you a specific example, maybe you managed to write one paragraph in one day. That might sound silly to a lot of people, but for some of us, that's a huge achievement, because maybe you haven't written anything in like 3 months. So to write one paragraph in one day, that's like, wow. But you should celebrate it, remember it. And then when you sit down tomorrow and your mind is telling you that you're a bad writer, remember that evidence that you've got in your head now that you're starting to build. Well, I'm not so bad. I wrote a paragraph yesterday, so today I can write a paragraph and 2 sentences. Let's do it. And then you write a paragraph and 2 sentences, then you write 2 paragraphs, then you write a whole page in one day. And then you keep that evidence in your mind and you remind yourself of it, right? And that's how you build more powerful beliefs, through gathering that evidence of your small wins. But you need to celebrate those wins. And most of us forget about it. We just wait until we get the big win and we publish in Nature and then we celebrate. But you need to celebrate the journey and those small steps. That's going to create more powerful beliefs and help you to break that internal barrier to moving forward and to succeeding as a researcher or a PhD student. Now, the second barrier that I mentioned is external, right? What do I mean by that? Well, this is everything around you that is hindering your progress or stopping it altogether. So you want to have a good hard look at what's around you and identify the things that promote your progress and things that hinder your progress. What do I mean about the stuff around you? Well, this can be, physical objects like your laptop, your mobile phone, a TV, right? This can be people around you. Maybe you've got colleagues in your office who constantly talk and you cannot focus, right? This can be your entire workspace that is maybe completely cluttered with papers, and it's just like you're constantly looking at those papers and you can't focus on anything, right? Maybe you work in coffee shops, but that has been shown to negatively impact your focus and your productivity, right? So you want to look at everything that's around you, people, objects, your workspace, and you want to create an environment for yourself that promotes work, that promotes focus, that makes writing in this case as easy as possible. So to give you a specific example, you want to create an environment that is free of distractions. Like, don't have your mobile phone next to you when you're trying to write. Close all the windows on your computer apart from what you need, which is Microsoft Word or whatever other program you're using for writing. You want to have a nice environment where you have maybe like here, a painting, where you have some art, maybe when you have plants, a flower, a picture of your family or your loved ones, right? So you want to create like a lovely writing corner where, when you sit down there, it just kind of feels like, nice, this is pleasant. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, if you're sitting in a space where people are constantly talking around you, you've got your mobile phone next to you, the place is cluttered with all sorts of papers and dirty coffee mugs, it's just unpleasant to be in. And it's just not productive and not conducive to writing. So these are the external barriers. These are the things externally that are stopping you and that are making you procrastinate, right? Tackle the internal one and the external one, and you're going to be moving forward at an ever faster speed. It will be basically like snowball. Initially, the results will be small, right? I guarantee that tomorrow, if you apply this, the results will be tiny. But if you continue at it, and you continue trying to be 1% better, then in the next 12 months, really, if you do the maths, you're going to be 31 times better. So just keep at it and keep chipping away at those internal and external barriers that are stopping you from writing more papers. Now, that's of course easier said than done. If you need some accountability and if you need personalized coaching with that, then book a free one-to-one consultation. The link is right below this video. One of our expert advisors will get on a one-to-one call with you and we'll talk about the barriers that are hindering your progress with your papers, and we'll devise a plan for you that we can apply together to really speed up your progress and to help you to publish more papers in better journals. And the link to that free one-to-one consultation is right below this video.